Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Reflections of a Servant. What to expect in the coming days. It is an end-time series of messages to Yasharal, those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father, Yahuwah, who will come to understand that it was Yahuwah's word manifest in the flesh in the person of Yahusha, that it was Yahuwah, the Almighty One, who sent his set-apart spirit in the name of Yahusha, Messiah, in the name of Yahusha, as our Messiah, to teach us, to guide us, to direct us, to work in us individually and collectively, one towards another, and to work through his chosen leaders and sent ones. My name is Symmanayah. Today is August 31st, 2015. This segment of Reflections of a Servant, What to Expect in the Coming Days. It is entitled Guarding Shabbat. My brothers and sisters, we are divided, we are conflicted on how to identify a day. I presented what I believe I was compelled to deliver to Yasharal regarding identifying a day in a previous recording. I submit to you that a day begins and ends with the full cycle, the full rotation of the earth from morning to morning, from daylight to daylight. I am not here to debate you nor argue with you, but I will encourage you to choose your position wisely, for in the coming days it will be paramount as we are journeying from the four corners of the earth that we stop and pause and rest correctly, guard the Shabbat, among other things. We will, in the coming days, witness being shaped, forged into unity as an awakening nation, Yasharal. We will witness the discipline of the Most High Father Yahuwah through his set-apart spirit, sent in Yahushua's name. We will come to know that one of the most critical things for worshiping and obeying the Almighty Father is knowing when a day begins and ends and how to effectively and correctively guard the Shabbat. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. We will come to know when a day begins and ends, and we will know when and how to correctly guard the Shabbat. Allow me to present the following. Exodus 20th chapter, verse 8 said, remember the Shabbat day to set it apart. That was Exodus 20, verse 8. Exodus 31:13 through 17 says, and you speak to the children of Yasharal, saying, my Shabbats you are to guard by all means, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations to know that I, Yahuwah, am setting you apart. And you shall guard the Shabbat, for it is set apart to you. Everyone who profanes it shall certainly be put to death, for anyone who does work on it, that being shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days work is done, and on the seventh is a Shabbat for rest, set apart to Yahuwah. Everyone doing work on the Shabbat shall certainly be put to death. And the children of Yasharal shall guard the Shabbat to observe the Shabbat throughout their generations for an everlasting covenant between me and the children of Yasharal. It is a sign forever. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. We have taken for granted, my brothers and sisters, that we serve a living Almighty One, and that in his set-apart spirit, sent in Yahushua's name, can, will, and has proven to make straight understanding regarding guarding the Shabbat. Many of us have compromised ourselves, and we fellowship with camps and individuals who disagree with when the Shabbat should be guarded, not realizing that we are participating in wickedness and wicked leaven. We cannot demonstrate unity if we fellowship divided on when to guard Shabbat. Unity cannot be reflective as an emergent nation if we are divided on guarding the Shabbat. Unity is paramount. It is critical. It is important. And these are one of the reasons why we will experience extreme humbling times that will make us mentally, physically, spiritually, and socially weak. And in our weakness will rise the spirit of Yahushua within us with clear understanding regarding the Shabbat and how we are to guard it. The earth's full rotation brings daylight, of which we were created to be most productive. Remember, there was not electricity during the days of old, which with each cycle of daylight, we began working. And after the completion of the sixth cycle of daylight, we are to set it apart and rest on the seventh cycle, the seventh day of rest, Shabbat. There are those among us who will undeniably agree that the Bible and other types of books that reflect scriptures have been tampered with and changed into many translations and languages. There's no argument there. But for some reason, when it comes to seeking the living voice of the Spirit of Yahushua to understand when to guard the Shabbat, we hang on to words. We hang on to our academic interpretation, our individual perceptions and opinions when it comes to when a day begins and ends. Yes, we seem to struggle with the word. One word that seems to be in the center of it all is the word evening. We will soon come to realize that plants, animals, man, woman, and child are most productive in the light of day, during daylight hours. Daylight is consistent with the light of righteousness. Daylight is consistent with the ways of the Most High. We will come to realize that our day-to-day actions follow a routine pattern, and on that seventh cycle we are to rest. We will discover the Spirit of Yahushua proving all that is true regarding understanding how to guard the Shabbat. Remember, the Most High does not change, and if we seek the life in His commandment regarding Shabbat, we will discover it is centered around daylight. The same daylight which brings energy to the plants and make for raising livestock is also the same daylight where we find ourselves working most productively in deed, in actions, in spirit, in truth. Guarding Shabbat is critical as we find ourselves being fashioned, shaped, and fulfilling the final exodus in or dying for Yahushua's name. Let me present the following as well. Matthew 24:20 says, and pray that your flight does not take place in winter or on the Shabbat. Notice the words in the verse I just read. That was Matthew 24:20. Who was able to discern these words as a possible warning, recognizing that we are different on the matter of Shabbat. But do not think for a moment that this is a green light to embrace compromising practices regarding guarding the Shabbat. There will be unity. Our ranks would be fragmented and disjointed if we allowed compromising beliefs and position regarding the Shabbat. If we are in motion on a journey directed by the Spirit of Yahushua, do you honestly think it's okay for one group to stop and start guarding Shabbat at one time and another guard it at another time? How then would we accomplish the schedule that is laid before us by the Spirit of Yahushua? I say again, we would be disjointed. We would be in pieces if this was allowed. Consider these words, my brothers and sisters. There's only one correct way for guarding Shabbat. I am persuaded by the power and might of the Spirit of Yahushua, and this is the position that I have taken. One can say that I'm saying I, but whether I say I or you say I, whether we individually identify our positions on guarding the Shabbat or collectively, we must echo our position, our stance. And those who are in agreement together, we are one in unity regarding guarding the Shabbat. So we are either in unity on this matter or not. Consider this, my brothers and sisters. We are on a journey. Scriptures say we will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. Imagine one group stopping on Friday evening when we are supposed to be continuously in motion, and then resting and decide to start moving on a Saturday evening when we are supposed to still be resting. It will make for a disjointed demonstration of set apartness, my brothers and sisters. The time is now for you to pray and seek to discern what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying to you, and come away from those who do not share the same position of belief regarding guarding the Shabbat. When the disciplined hand of the Most High comes, in some cases, it will bring about repentance and correction immediately, and we will have a chance to get it right. But there will soon be times when we will witness individuals laid waste, purged from our ranks, and in some cases put to death for stepping in the way of the message regarding guarding Shabbat and all that is commanded by the living Father, the living Almighty One Yahuwah, in the name of Yahushua. Keep in mind, we will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. It is a schedule that has been created by the Father, directed by his set-apart Spirit sent in Yahushua's name. I say again, if a group chooses to stop and guard Shabbat on a Friday, when we are supposed to be continuous in motion, they are operating in disobedience. If a group began to honor Shabbat at the break of day on Saturday, but then start working on Saturday evening at the end of daylight, they are operating in disobedience. If a group is following the lunar calendar and guarding Shabbat on the wrong times and cycles, they too are operating in disobedience. We are divided. Some say, how do we know when a day begins and ends in terms of the beginning of the week? I submit to you, pray and watch. Soon and very soon, my brothers and sisters, the chosen leaders, along with the two witnesses of Revelation, will make straight and present what is correct and confirm the times that we are to guard Shabbat. And we will find ourselves in unity, those who survive the disciplined hand of the Most High and are chosen to fulfill proof of his covenant, proof of his promises to Yasharal. Know this, it is a serious thing, and there will be those put to death. Are you willing to gamble your life? Are you willing to step out confident and be confidently wrong? Seek out to discern what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying. Do not allow your cognitive factors, your mental abilities, your academic abilities to cause your perceptions to be leaning on something that is incorrect. I pray, O Yasharal, I pray that we are able to discern what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying regarding the matter. And I say to you this, know that we have come into a season where extreme humbling times are coming. And the ones who carry the message from the Spirit of Yahushua will operate in detail as we are gathered from the four corners of the earth, as we are shaped into a unified, awakening nation. What say you, O listener to these words? What say you, O Yasharal? Are you with me in the name of Yahushua Mashiach? Or are you against me? How then can two say that we represent the Most High in the name of Yahushua Mashiach if we do not agree? Know this, a major correction is coming, and the truth on this matter will come with a conviction so hard, so strong, so severe. It will bring correction, it will bring proof, and Yasharal will demonstrate before the world the correct way for guarding Shabbat, for resting, for recognizing the Most High Father Yahuwah. In the name of Yahushua, we will march in unity. Are you prepared? Are you prepared to see Yasharal enlarged in ranks by those who are in unity regarding all that is commanded of us, regarding how we guard the Shabbat, and more? Until next time, my brothers and sisters, what to expect in the coming days is a correction, major corrections, major discipline regarding our positions, regarding what we are to do. Major things are coming before us, and we will come to know the importance of guarding Shabbat correctly. Until next time, I pray that we have a ready mind to respond to the living voice of the Spirit of Yahushua and fall into unity as he directs. In some cases, when proof comes, it may be too late for some. They may not realize it till they take their last breath. But there will be those who will come to realize and yield to the correction in order to fulfill what is written. And there will be those who will be overtaken with unbelief and just continue in rebellion and wickedness. Some aware, some unaware. My prayer, O Yasharal, is that we are able to discern and respond readily to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. Until next time, continue to walk towards set apartness. Continue to pursue set apartness like never before. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.